Midday in the Queen City, business is booming. It's a beautiful sunny day outside. We should go to the market. Let's do lunch. Midday in the Queen City, business is booming. Welcome to the show. Hi, welcome to the Working Lunch. This is our hour-long business show here on The Crown, where we bring you headlines about what local businesses have going on in the community, interviews with local leaders and CEOs. Sometimes we try to squeeze in a bite to eat, maybe something to drink before you go back to face the afternoon. Glad to have you on the show today. Starting off with headlines. Big news for people who enjoy THC drinks. A federal judge is granting a temporary restraining order to 10 different hemp companies in Ohio, allowing them to operate under federal law, specifically the 2018 Farm Bill, which legalized hemp. Legal hemp is what led to intoxicating hemp and the THC seltzers developed by a number of Ohio breweries. The state of Ohio then banned intoxicating hemp products, and even though lawmakers gave a special carve-out to breweries making THC drinks, Governor DeWine vetoed that specific carve-out. Remember, we had Bobby Slattery of 50 West on the show just a couple weeks ago, and he said that they were seeing big growth in that THC drink sector. Millions of dollars worth of product and development going on there, and 50 West was not among the 10 companies that have been a part of this new temporary restraining order. However, Northside-based Urban Artifact is, and so you can see it there. The Costalo THC drink is available once again. Might just be for 2 weeks. That temporary restraining order from the court does allow for it to be a little bit longer. That'll be a decision made down the road, but it is available now. Bobby Slattery of 50 West told us that he is working with state lawmakers, has been working with state lawmakers, trying to get that veto overturned. There is still a new federal ban that is looming, though, set to take effect before the end of the year. So again, maybe get it while the getting is good. U.S. News & World Report putting out its list of best global universities, and the University of Cincinnati made it to that list, coming in number 213 in the world out of more than 2,200 colleges from more than 100 countries. We do have some of the stats that U.S. News & World Report analyzed in order to come up with that ranking for UC. You can see it right there, number 213 in best global universities, different subject rankings. UC came in 347th in biology and chemistry, and of course that was a tie. Computer science, clinical medicine in the top 100. That's very encouraging. It looks like that's the only one that came in the top 100. But here's where UC ranked in a variety of categories when it came to calculating this ranking of 213 best global universities. Again, that's a tie there also. Ohio State University ranked number 64. The methodology of the list involved a number of things. Global reputation, along with schools that have published over 1,200 academic papers, and how often those papers get cited in other people's works. The school's research reputation, international collaboration, and more. A lot of different elements there going into that list. Congratulations to UC. So, nostalgia used to be considered a psychological disorder. Truly it was. But now it's a big part of the U.S. economy, certainly when it comes to movies. And you have likely seen pictures and video on social media of Pizza Huts that have been redesigned to look like how they did 30 years ago. Pizza Hut itself has a section on its website listing Pizza Hut classic locations. That's either going to be more of a thing or you can kiss it goodbye, because Pizza Hut is being sold by Yum Brands of Louisville to private equity firm Long Range Capital. The sale price there in the U.S., $1.5 billion. There is a separate sale of mainland China Pizza Hut locations, but that's a different story. American Pizza Huts and non-China Pizza Huts being sold to this private equity company. Yum Brands still has KFC, Taco Bell, and something called Habit Burger and Grill, which I looked up. They specialize in char burgers, just not around here. This kind of sale, though, to a private equity firm is sometimes a death knell. You may remember Boston Market was sold to private equity. It saw deep cuts in food quality, mounting debt. It filed for bankruptcy in 2023. TGI Fridays had a similar situation. It filed for Chapter 11 in 2024. Red Lobster had the land underneath the restaurant sold off ahead of a bankruptcy filing in 2024. That's a fairly common practice among VCs. If all that sounds familiar, that's also what happened to Frisch's Big Boy after a 2015 private equity buyout took over from more than 100 locations to less than 3 dozen. So we will see how this plays out, but now Pizza Hut is among those iconic restaurant brands now owned by private equity. We want to close out the headlines with a congratulations to the Cincinnati Business Courier. It won 10 awards at the 2026 All-Ohio Excellence in Journalism Awards, including Best Print Non-Daily Paper in the state. There is a reason that publisher that is Jamie Smith was my very first guest when we launched the stream of this show on June 1st. I think his people do really great work reporting on all kinds of business-related news in the city. Business Courier reporters Steve Watkins and Chris Wetterick, friends of the show, they took some individual awards from that event. Congratulations all around. Good work, guys. It's a good paper. And now for today's Big Bite. I got to tell you, I am extremely excited about today's guest. We talk a lot on this show about iconic parts of Cincinnati, particularly businesses. There's so many long-running historical elements, things that you count on being staples of this city. We are back on the nonprofit scene today. This is one of the most recognizable in the city. You may not even realize that it's a nonprofit organization. Talking about Finley Market, which, knowing that President and CEO Kelly Lancer was going to be a guest on the show, I had the pleasure of taking a walk around there just yesterday. It's a picture I took. That's a picture-perfect day yesterday. Checking out the market, how things are looking there. Iced coffee from Urbana Cafe was something I got. I got some really good cookies from Maverick Chocolate. I think that Finley Market is one of Cincinnati's real treasures. That's not exactly a piping hot take. There has been a real effort to make it more open and enticing to people over the 20 years that I've lived here. There's been a number of developments going on, but going back as far as the historical nature of Finley Market, Cincinnati had 9 public markets going back about 150 years. Finley Market is the only one of those that is still around. That is an old picture there, but if that that pavilion, that should look familiar. It was originally built in the 1800s as an open-sided pavilion, and the central tower was added about 50 years later. It was enclosed after a while because of concerns about an open-air market being exposed to early 1900s urban pollution, which, if we're being honest with ourselves, early 1900s urban pollution was really peak urban pollution. We were really churning it out back then. So they had concerns about all that being exposed to the air. There were elements of it enclosed. That enclosure of the market also brought indoor plumbing and refrigeration options in-house instead of sending items that needed to be kept cool to the cellars under the breweries nearby, which I got to say, there was a certain poetry to that. Quiz time. What American company pioneered the use of artificial cooling and insulated rail cars to keep their sudsy product cold for nationwide distribution? The answer is Adolphus Busch of Anheuser-Busch. He also used pasteurization to keep his beer fresh. That's a poetical quiz time for a future Big Bite, but the idea that they're keeping things cold in brewery cellars, I thought was interesting. Finley Market's website has a really good history of James Finley on it, whom the market is named after. He was a Cincinnati mayor, and then after that, he fought in the War of 1812. He was at one point held prisoner by Great Britain. He was eventually elected to Congress. Both he and his wife passed away before Finley Market really opened, but that land would eventually be the market site. It was donated to the city of Cincinnati specifically for a market to remember General Finley's accomplishments. So what was the thing that did those 8 other public markets in that kept Finley Market the only one going today? Take a look.
High above the Ohio River, Cincinnati once had a view unlike any other, thanks to a remarkable system of inclined plane railroads that lifted entire neighborhoods into the sky. In the 1800s, the city's basin was crowded, polluted, and increasingly undesirable, and people were eager to move to cleaner, more spacious suburbs above the valley. Between 1872 and 1894, Cincinnati built 5 inclined plane railways to give residents easy access to Mount Auburn, Price Hill, Bellevue Hill, and Fairview. For 75 years, the railways carried foot riders, horse-drawn wagons, streetcars, some freight, and later buses. The most famous, the Mount Adams Incline, rose 312 feet and became a tourist attraction in its own right. Riders described the ascent as if the city were dropping away, revealing a breathtaking panorama of Cincinnati and the river below. By the mid-20th century, the crumbling inclines were becoming a nuisance to traffic as personal.
Those inclined railroads made it so workers didn't have to live in the city near the river, and that brought about neighborhood business districts that had their own grocery stores. Do we not think it would have been cool to figure out a way to get streetcar up the hill to Clifton and UC like that video was showing at the incline? I think that's cool, and we should probably put some more thought into that. Also at this point, at-home refrigeration started to be more of a thing as well, and of course the invention of the car changed the way people lived and worked and got food. Findlay Market was added to the National Register of Historic Places in the early 1970s, and Over the Rhine itself became a National Historic District in the 1980s. For the last 20 years, the Corporation for Findlay Market has been the City of Cincinnati's official preferred developer for the properties all around the market. Its job is to run the market and also grow sales and profitability for the merchants set up inside and in the surrounding district. These days, Findlay Market has more than 36 indoor merchants selling any variety of meat and cheese and spices and oil and seafood and more. The Findlay Market shopping app had a relaunch in 2022, offering both pickup and delivery options. And that is all in keeping with Findlay Market's mission to make sure people of all socioeconomic backgrounds are able to shop there. There have been more than 100 Findlay Market opening day parades, ground zero for one of the biggest annual events in Cincinnati history. Findlay Market also has programs like Findlay Kitchen, the Findlay Launch Storefront Accelerator Program, and more. Findlay Market have a lot going on, attracting people from all over the city every day. We are going to talk about all of that and more with Kelly Lancer. She is the president and CEO of the Corporation for Findlay Market, and she's my guest next. You're watching The Working Lunch on The Crown. Got some stocks of local interest. Stick around.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you the stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
What part of it do you think you struggled with the most? And I don't want to know about, the intricacies of relationships or whatnot, but what about the structure of your life at the time did you really have a hard time with?
Well, I guess it would be sharing so much information about my personal life. And just in the back end of things, I just never felt like they always just wanted more. And I'm like, well, I can't be more funny. Like, this is it. And I can't be, yeah, and like I've shared like very vulnerable moments. Like, I don't know what else you want me to do. And then at a point where I'm just like, I don't know if they value me.
I was just gonna ask, did you ever feel valued or appreciated?
At some points, and by most of my coworkers, yes. By some people in the building, like we just wouldn't see eye to eye. And I think that's gonna happen anywhere. It happens.
Yeah.
But at the time,
I was
I was mad, and I'm like, I can't give you any more than what I'm giving. Okay? And for a long time, I was just like, wow, you know, I worked at this radio station, I gave them my life, and I wasn't good enough, and then I get let go. What do I do now? And for a moment, I was frustrated and upset, and like rejection sucks. But now I'm just like, they did me a favor. And honestly, like I grew so much in that time, I wouldn't have had social media. And now I'm like making a small business out of
You're a
that.
social media queen.
Thank
As
you.
somebody who went from 0 to 100, and you like really lean into it. I'm a social, like I look at people like you, and I'm like, you like really lean into it and love it and do it well, and it's so
Which,
great.
You're really sweet to say that because
Yeah.
then, you know, just like the voice in your head, it's like, I'm not doing enough, I'm not creating enough. I need to post a picture today. I'm not gonna post a picture because it doesn't feel authentic. And then I overthink for 45 minutes. And so then it's like,
Dude, the
oh,
pressure to post every day. I haven't thought about that.
like, I think I should get bangs. What do you guys think? And I'm like, that's the post?
It's a great post.
I'm not getting bangs.
But thank God. Okay. Can you?
Every morning, Cincinnati wakes up and gets to work. Companies are built, deals are made, restaurants open, ideas become careers, and every day the people behind it all sit down at the working lunch. Founders, CEOs, entrepreneurs, community leaders, the people building Cincinnati. The Working Lunch with Jack Crumley, weekdays, noon to 1, only on The Crown. Welcome back to The Working Lunch. I'm Jack Crumley. I am joined by Kelly Lancer, who is the president and CEO of the Corporation for Findlay Market. That is the nonprofit which operates Findlay Market, which we talked about in the last segment. It is a long-running icon of this city. Functions as both a working market for, thousands of people every day, and then also a tourist attraction. That is an interesting place to be in. Findlay Market right now is also in the middle of a capital campaign, which we're going to talk all about with Kelly. Kelly, what's it like being the president and CEO of such a long-running piece of Cincinnati history?
Every day is exciting.
Yeah.
Lots of wild things, things that I never thought I would be doing in a professional setting. But really, at the end of the day, it's an honor. I've been at the market for 13 years. I was telling you before the show, it kind of gets in your blood.
Yeah.
You meet people, you meet the merchants, and you hear their stories, and the entrepreneurs, and the shoppers, and the neighbors, and it's a magical place. And we don't have a big team, so to be part of something like that, a market that's been around for almost 175 years, truly an honor to be in the role that I'm in.
Yeah, that's really exciting, and especially, like you said, the idea of it being different every day, different people coming and going, all the human interaction that goes on there, and people from all walks of life. You guys are very conscious and public about the idea that you want Findlay Market to be a place for everyone.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. It is core to our mission. So the market's been around for generations, as you know, and the history that you did at the start of the show was fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
And I just, for us, it has been purposeful. It has been intentional that we stay a fresh food market. Many public markets over the years around the country, really around the world, many of them have moved to food halls, or they've turned into markets where only people of high income levels can shop. For us, if you walk through the market house, which I know that you have, what you'll see is about 2/3 fresh food, groceries, ingredients, the produce, the meats, the cheeses.
Yeah.
But as importantly, at all price levels. It's why we have multiple butchers. It's why we have multiple cheesemongers. We want anyone that lives in Cincinnati, in our region, to be able to shop at Findlay Market. And that's done through some of our programming, but also the curation of who has stalls inside of the market, who is going into the storefronts. So core to our mission, fresh food market for everyone.
Yeah, and you guys really, as the corporation, really have, it's your job to create a fertile ground for these businesses, these merchants that have booths set up in the market to be able to sell their wares, and then also you want to attract people to come in and buy it from them. You're really having to balance and juggle a number of things.
Yeah. So when the Corporation for Findlay Market was founded about 25 years ago, the neighborhood had gone through a lot of changes, and there were some conversations, quite frankly, with the city as far as does the market stay open.
Well, and because Over the Rhine 25 years ago was a much different place than it is right now.
Much different, and the city still owns Findlay Market, but at the time it was owning and managing the market, and there just weren't enough resources.
Yeah.
And so there's conversations about what is the future of the market. But there was a group of people called the Friends of Findlay Market. Some of them are still around and active today in the same program on our board of directors that said, hey, there's this business model out there, and it is a nonprofit managing a public market. And so we were created in the early 2000s after a large renovation. Some federal dollars made their way to Cincinnati, did some upgrades to the market house, like the roll-up doors, for example. And the nonprofit was really tasked with bring life back to the market. So businesses, people, and we were really focused on that. So direct outreach, and we're recruiting, but we're also just inviting people to come to the market. Remember what this place is. And we did that for a couple of years, and then the momentum started. So we had those really kind of pioneer merchants that said yes in the early 2000s. We had shoppers that had never stopped coming.
Right.
I mean, there are people that have been coming for generations. I actually met with someone yesterday who was talking about shopping when he was 3 during World War II. So we've had dedicated shoppers for a very long time. But what that did was it allowed us to refocus our efforts on 2 things. Entrepreneurship, helping small businesses start, grow, and scale their business through many of our programs, our Findlay Kitchen, Findlay Launch, Findlay Learn, but also refocusing our efforts on food access, what that means, what we want to provide to our shoppers, and how we do that. And so we've really focused on those 2 things in an effort to have more diverse businesses, product offerings, and allow opportunities for people to start food businesses no matter where they are in the process.
Yeah, you guys, I think I saw some article or a piece about how like the demand for those entrepreneurial programs has only grown, which it's so nice to know that there's still people that like want to start some sort of food or restaurant business. That's such a brutal business with razor thin margins, and the idea that people can, there's an interest that people still want to do it. They're driving you guys to have these programs. That's tremendous. Findlay Kitchen has been helping folks for a while. Just before Taste of Cincinnati happened, we had a woman from an outfit called Walker Bar. The ice cream place that she named after her grandma, and they started in Findlay Kitchen. And you guys have the accelerator. These are, I don't know if a lot of people know about those things, but they should. That's a wonderful service.
Absolutely. And I think that's why people do so well at the market. So the market's the 5th most visited place in Cincinnati. From a culture perspective. We did a big economic impact report that I'm happy to talk about, but to go back to the food innovation programs, 10 years ago we launched Findlay Kitchen, and it's a shared use incubator kitchen that is just across the street from the market house. It's on Elm Street, and in the last decade we've had 300 businesses go through Findlay Kitchen.
Wow. So what's the programming on that? Is it I have a dream that I want to bake bread or that I want to make cupcakes, and you say, well, here's the space to try it out.
So fascinating. So it could be that, but it could just be you kind of fall into it on accident. And we've seen a little bit of everything. And I think why it works is because we've got wraparound support services. The one thing that I'll say is pretty consistent is no one needs our help on the recipe side. They're not coming to us and saying, hey, I have my grandmother's recipe. Can you help me kind of work with it? They're coming in, though, saying, I'm at this stage of my journey from a business perspective. And some people are coming in knowing they want to start a food business. Like, this is my dream, or I was in this space and this is kind of a hobby. I think I want to try it out. Tell me how to grow this. And then we have some people who they made cookies for their kids' class, and then the school wants it, and oh my gosh, Western and Southern called, and they need 5,000. And so we're able to plug them in, and we have wraparound support services. We have a whole curriculum that teaches people the business side of running a food business, which is usually where people run into problems. So they're great chefs, they're great bakers, they have affordable access. So Findlay Kitchen, the biggest barrier is access to capital, and so you become a member, but then you can rent out these individual kitchens at such a low cost. Like our biggest kitchen by the hour is $24 an hour.
That feels like a very affordable thing if somebody's looking to start.
So affordable, and it comes with the licensing, and you have the access to equipment that you otherwise would absolutely not have in your own home. You've got equipment that's just bigger. So you think about baking cookies. We have a 17 rack oven. So it's a lot different than cooking at home. And so the scalability and the support around it really allows people to grow their business. And then, oh my gosh, Finley Market's right across the street.
Yeah.
So a lot of those people go from Finley Kitchen and then they go to the outdoor market. So like you mentioned earlier, we'll have a weekend in the summer, where between Saturday and Sunday, 30 to 40,000 people are coming to the market. And so you can pop up at the market in one of our mobile units and get in front of lots of people, gain an audience, gain a following. And then from there, we have a storefront accelerator program where you can test out brick and mortar. Again, a lot of people just don't know what they don't know. And so we want to eliminate risks. We want to provide opportunities so you can go into one of these storefronts and you can test out if you like brick and mortar for up to 15 months. Or you can walk away and say, no thanks, pretty early on without financial devastation.
Yeah, you're not all of a sudden up to your eyeballs in debt because you took out a huge loan.
Exactly, you're not taking out a second mortgage because often it's people just starting businesses. If you go to a bank and try to get a loan for a brick and mortar, they'll say, do you have sales from brick and mortar? And they don't. And this allows them to also have that financial backing for if they decide to go on to something permanent afterwards, they can say, yes, I do, and have better opportunities financially. And so all of these things exist around the market because we have listened to entrepreneurs. What are the challenges? What do they need? Let's plug them in where they can be most successful. And so at the market, over the last 25 years, we have supported 550 businesses.
That's tremendous.
530 are still in business today.
Yeah. That's a fantastic ratio. It's really great. And then at the same time, too, customers, you have an option like every day of going down there and trying out something different and new. All that being said, between all these different programs and all the different vendors and the customers who've been coming for generations worth of people, Finley Market right now is in the middle of a capital campaign. And it's your very first capital campaign, which, we talk about nonprofits on this show a lot. And recently talked about that piece that was in the Inquirer about nonprofits that are investing in physical spaces and real estate and the way that money gets put into things, and the idea that Finley Market, that's been around since the 1800s, is just now doing its very first ever capital campaign. I think that's really noteworthy. It shows the longevity that this organization has had.
Yeah, and one of the things I say too, so this is the first time we're doing a capital campaign, but for generations people have decided to invest in the market in different ways, and this is our chance to do it. So I've been at the market for 13 years. We've been talking about the challenges of small businesses, what they need to grow, what they need to scale, what they need to be more successful. At the same time, there are things in the neighborhood. So our space where we have our maintenance and our facilities, that is going away. Our operations space, our shopping app is at capacity. Finley Kitchen is a decade old. We need more equipment to be able to support these entrepreneurs. So we had started putting together this list where I think it was informal at first, and then a couple of years ago we said it's time. So let's go all in. So we originally talked about, is it 10 million? Is it 15 million? And then we decided 21 million. It's big and it's huge and it's scary, but we want to be prepared for today, tomorrow, but tomorrow.
Right.
We want to be around for another 175 years.
Yeah,
and we have plans to do that.
The campaign talks about, what did I jot down? Refresh, expand, and preserve, sort of three different legs of this thing. And the idea that you're doing it, it's not just because, well, we want to get bigger and we want to try to sell a fancier version of the market to folks. You're doing it because it's based on demand.
Yeah, absolutely. The first bucket that you mentioned is really focused on infrastructure. Some things are brand new, some things are enhancements, some things are fixing. So we'll have a new operations center that will be home to storage. And one thing I'll say about this part of it is some things are going to be really fun and flashy and exciting. A new Ray Street Esplanade for the community and for businesses and seating. Our farm shed that is beautiful and welcomes the region's largest farmers market. We want to enclose it because now we have 4 season growers. But if you come when it's anything other than a beautiful day like today, it's miserable as a grower. But there are things like storage and electricity and heat and HVAC and display refrigeration. We need doors that are ADA accessible. So there are some of those things too that are just, they're operational and they're necessary, and that's what we need.
Not exactly talking about luxury items here. I mean, these are like ADA accessible doors and electricity. So this is a picture that I grabbed yesterday because this is also part of the, promoting Findlay Forward, which is the name of the capital campaign. And this is, I think, like office space you guys are currently occupying or moving into.
Yeah,
that's the
great question. So what you're looking at here, actually, so the spaces we were in got demolished last year.
That's right.
We're excited. It's the Findlay Rec project. It's such a staple of the community. We're excited for that to open up. What this space will do is allow us to have some space for offices, but more importantly, operational space for our merchants. So when we went to Findlay Kitchen, Outdoor Market, and our full-time merchants, when we started talking about this campaign, we said, what do you need? What are the most important things you need? Storage was top of the list. And you think about that and you're like, it's not super exciting for, I think, maybe the general public, but you think about what that does for small businesses. It allows them to buy in bulk. Margins are so thin. It allows for them to scale tremendously. So what that space will turn into on that first floor is walk-in coolers, walk-in freezers, dry storage. You think about the amount of times people are going in and out. So Roth Produce, you probably saw open up yesterday. Every single day, they go to the walk-in cooler that is about a block and a half away.
That's crazy.
They load up their truck, and then they take it to their stand. They make a beautiful display for shoppers. And then at the end of the day, they do the same thing, take it back. This puts that storage right there. It gives them way more space as well, times probably 3 or 4 from what we have now, just for them. And so it allows for these businesses to just have a better environment for their small businesses. So that'll happen in the operations center space. We'll have meeting room spaces that our merchants, Findlay Kitchen members can use. So also a community space. So it's going to be so much more than just offices for our team.
And that's just that one element of it. Again, preserve and expand and refresh. We were going to get into the other couple elements about the Findlay Forward Capital Campaign. Talk more about Findlay Market with President and CEO Kelly Lancer when we get back. We're taking a break. You're watching The Working Lunch on The Crown. Stick around.
Dinner! Dinner! Dang.
All right.
Whoa.
Great job.
Yeah. Yeah, bring it in! It was great.
How'd that feel?
Intense. It was good. Kind of a fight to the death, you know? That's cool. What?
And you got
Yeah, it's cool.
and you got right back up.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Oh, try to score the punches to get through. I was really like, I did it!
Yes. All right, go ahead and keep going. If you keep going, you can come around and score points.
We do have a game coming up, so they tend to be a little more focused and like strict.
Now this green line is what you're trying to not go out of.
Okay.
Go out, so now you have to go back behind. No, right behind our friend right here. Yeah, do it out. Yep.
Okay.
Nice. This one.
There's one. We went butt. Okay. Hey. I got a big old tank, baby. think I'm better skating backwards than frontwards. Ooh, everything's fine. Oh my God! You literally, I went full force.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Fast, hard, go.
Wow! Oh my God! Yeah. Really did try to go hard.
Yeah, and you could have kept like, you could have went in hard.
What is The Crown? It's simple, really. Authentic Cincinnati entertainment. Not hot takes from a studio 3 states away. Not national noise pretending to know this city. Rather, bringing a voice to those who call the Queen City home. Where can I watch The Crown shows? Join us live from 7 to 11 a.m. for First Word and 12 to 1 for the Working Lunch on RESN. No live TV? No problem. Stream and interact with all of our content on major podcast, broadcast, and streaming platforms. The Crown is Cincinnati. Loud, passionate, competitive, proud. From early morning sports debates to the business leaders shaping the riverfront, to the fans, stories, moments, and culture that make this place move. Live shows, podcasts, documentaries, digital content built from Cincinnati, for Cincinnati. This is The Crown.
Welcome back to the Working Lunch. I'm Jack Crumley, joined by the president and CEO of the Corporation for Findlay Market, Kelly Lancer. So happy to have you here and talk about this iconic Cincinnati market, this nonprofit that's been going on. You guys are in the middle of a $21 million capital campaign that involves preserving and expanding and refreshing. We talked about the green building that's there that's going to offer a lot more storage and cooling for people. What are some of the other elements that you're looking to accomplish with this very ambitious campaign?
Yeah, great question. So in the first bucket, that is the physical infrastructure, we have about 30 line items on there. So it's things that you can see, like the farm shed enclosure that I mentioned before. It's cameras and lighting. It is new awnings, things inside of the market house, indoor seating area, new education center, market center.
Wow.
A lot of spaces, a lot of physical things at the market. And then the second bucket is programmatic growth. So really focus on our entrepreneurship programs and our food access programs. We talked a little bit about the entrepreneurship side, so the Findlay Kitchen, Findlay Launch, Findlay Learn. One thing I'll add about Findlay Learn is that program just keeps growing. And what we've learned with these programs is there is a need, there's a demand locally. I think when people now think about starting a food business, they know Findlay Market is where you start. And so you think about Findlay Learn. So we actually just launched our most recent cohort last night. And so we bring in subject matter experts from around the city. We use our staff, who is just incredible. They're talented. They are so smart. And we help teach people the business side of running a food business. So again, a lot of people know how to make the food, but it's the hiring and it's the firing and it's the operations and what happens if someone gets sick with my food, and it's marketing and it's branding and it's how to read a lease and it's how to create a business plan.
That's so
and
helpful.
It's all of those things that perhaps people haven't had the opportunity to learn about or just didn't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And so when people are coming to the market, like you referenced before, some people are coming with a dream, right? Like, this is what I want to be, and we can help them oftentimes through support of these education programs that we offer to small businesses. And we started with growing into a storefront. And that was so successful. But then we learned that we needed kind of a 101 level. So we have Food Business Foundations 101, and then we have a class under that. So really, truly, if you are someone looking to start a food business, come to Findlay Market and we have a space for you.
What an incredible resource.
Yeah, it's awesome. And what's great is we have such great relationships with all of the places that have storefronts. So we love when our businesses stay near the market, but they don't have to.
Baby birds can still fly out of the nest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
And oftentimes it makes more sense to open a business where you're from, where your friends and family live. But we have great relationships with all of the developers in the city of Cincinnati. So when they have spaces available, they're calling us, and we are in regular communication talking about, okay, these are businesses that we feel like are ready. And those places know that if they're taking businesses from our program, they have all of that background. They're not just coming in blindly, not understanding, again, the business side of the food business. And so it's just been a great resource for so many people. And we've seen so many people start kind of at that 101 level and grow and grow and grow, go from education to launch to outdoor market to roll-up doors to inside of the market house. Again, it's not a requirement, but those stories are really fun to see. Makers Bakers is one of them. Ye Mama just opened up inside of the market house last year.
We made sure to grab a picture of the Ye Mama ribbon cutting. I'm such a sucker for a dumpling place. That's really incredible. And you know, you've got, in terms of you, the idea of a place that maybe someone goes to one of the educational facilities and learns how to have a business, and then they start having a booth there and it graduates into a storefront. You've been with Findlay Market, the corporation, for 13 years. Yep. You started out on the events side.
I did.
What about that evolution for you that you learned coming up through the events section and eventually now that you're president and CEO of the corporation? What were some of the things that you learned in those other elements of the business that play into how you are handling things on the top level?
What a good question. I just got to know everyone.
Yeah.
Because when you're on the ground, it's with events, you're there early, you're there late, you're problem solving, it's operational things, it's, you know, just really helping people both from the business perspective, but also shoppers. Like, I'm hearing problems and concerns and challenges and what's going well and what's not going well. And then from the communication perspective, one of my very favorite parts about being at the market is the endless stories. So whether, again, you're a shopper or you're a longtime business or you're someone that is trying something, you know, they're taking a risk. I've been part of telling those stories. And so hearing those, I have fallen in love with the market like so many people have. Yeah. And I think I just have understood kind of the challenges and needs and dreams of people. And it has allowed me to grow organizationally and really make decisions based on those things. So I'm not making decisions in a vacuum based on what Kelly Lancer thinks. Right. It is, I've been talking to people, I've been building relationships. We have 65 full-time businesses. All of those businesses have business owners, so I'm working alongside 65 other CEOs. They all have staff members, they all have perspectives, and many of them have been around the market much longer than I have. So you think about businesses like Eckerland Meats, they've been around since the market opened in the 1850s.
They've been around since meat, I think, was invented.
Yeah, you know? Before refrigeration, certainly, to your point earlier. But you think about like the Gibbs, 1922, and the Lucan brothers, who have all had businesses here. Like, I have gotten to learn from them over the years, and you can't learn about the market in 1 or 2 or probably even 13 years. There are so many things I don't even know now. Right. But to be able to learn from all of these people, and historically even like the shoppers. So people have told me, well, we used to do this thing, or did you know ours used to be this, or it would be great if you brought back that. And having a chance to hear those things have allowed me to, again, make those decisions based on what has worked so far. Again, the market being around for 175 years is not an accident. Right. So I would be remiss if I didn't take in account all the experiences and everything that other people have learned over the years to help make decisions.
Which is probably sometimes like drinking from a fire hose. I would imagine that a lot of people that have been going to the market and feel a sense of belonging and a sense of ownership there want to let you know what they think works and what they think don't, because they care too.
Absolutely.
What is it like for you in terms of the way that the market is run? Because in addition to the fact that this is a tourist attraction, this is where people I brought my parents there when I first moved here 20 years ago. People come here as a stop to the day game that's going on for the Reds right now.
Yep.
There's people in from New York who are Mets fans that are checking out Findlay Market.
Yeah.
But also, this is a market where people are going to every day to get regular groceries they need. What is that like for you from an operational perspective and from a marketing perspective?
Yeah. Such a good question. It's interesting. So I would say that any public market that really does care about fresh food struggles with this. I sat on a panel last year at the International Public Market Conference, and it's Findlay Market, and it's Borough Market from London, and markets in Syria. About 10 markets were represented there. And we talked about some really interesting things. But at the end, we started talking about trash and tourism versus grocery shoppers. Oh, wow. It doesn't matter how long you've been around.
Many such cases.
Yeah, no matter where you are in the world, those are the things that you talk about. For us, it starts with curation. So 2/3 fresh food at Findlay Market makes us a fresh food grocery store. If not for the market, the area that we're in North OTR would be a food desert.
Yep.
And so that is a big piece of putting a stake in the ground and saying we are here for that. We want people leaving with their grocery bags. But it also comes with the decisions around special events and programming. There's a reason why on a Saturday we don't have live music at noon. We love when people come, grab a drink, do whatever they want to do, but at noon we want them to be grocery shopping. So hang for a little bit if you want, but what we're looking for is come at 4 or 5, and that's when we have the band. That's when we want people to stick around for a couple of hours, because what we hear from our merchants is if we're programming or having events early on a Saturday, for example, those people are getting in the way of grocery shoppers.
Right.
So timing matters, the type of programming we have. So we've shifted, even when I started with events, some of the events were still just bring people here. We think when people get here, they will come back because we're inviting a lot of people for the first time or first time in a long time. Now, what you'll see with our events is they're tasting events for the most part. So we're inviting people to come. Like this weekend, we have a Juneteenth event, and it's tickets, and they're low cost, but it gets people moving around, and those tickets go directly to these small businesses. It's revenue generating, but as importantly, it's introducing people to different businesses. And so we've just shifted how we do events and programming. From a marketing perspective, if you look through our social media feed, if you look at our newsletter, fresh food is what we're talking about majority of the time. We don't do any paid advertisements for coming to hang out and grabbing that beer. We want you to come on a Friday night and enjoy music at the market. We most certainly do. But where we're putting our efforts is come during the week and get your meats and your cheeses. Come on a Saturday morning and visit Kim from Lowenstein Farm in the farmers market. So we're intentional about the words that we're using, the messaging that we're using to say fresh food is number one.
That's a lot of thought to operating a place, and clearly that kind of thought is why Findlay Market has been around as long as it has. Kelly Lancer with Findlay Market, again, in the middle of their Findlay Forward capital campaign, a $21 million capital campaign that is nearly done but still needs some work. If you live in Cincinnati, if you haven't been to Findlay Market in a long time, hearing about this, hearing about maybe the best pork chops you can find anywhere, all sorts of oils and seafood and fresh produce and flowers and coffee. Swing down to Findlay Market. Maybe do it this afternoon. Maybe do it this weekend. See everything that Findlay Market has going on. It really is a jewel in this city that is looking to grow and expand, and you can be a part of that. And you get to brag to your friends, yeah, I went down to Findlay Market, no big deal. Kelly, I'm a big fan. Really appreciate all your work. FindlayForward.org is the website for the capital campaign. We got to take a break.
Awesome. Perfect.
We will be back with more. You're watching The Working Lunch on The Crown. Stick around.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
area. Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you the stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
The Crown has you covered. Start your day with First Word, Cincinnati's only morning sports show. Power through midday with the Working Lunch, Cincinnati business talk that keeps you in the know. Nat tries that for lifestyle around the city, and the Rebound Rundown covers every corner of the college basketball scene in the tri-state and beyond. This is The Crown. First Word for your morning sports, Nat tries that for lifestyle around the city, the Working Lunch for business that hits home, and Rebound Rundown for college hoops. This city deserves its crown. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Cincinnati sports fans are the best. Loyal, passionate, second to none. This city lives and breathes sports, and now it finally has a morning show to match. I'm James Rapine, and this is First Word, the only morning sports show in Cincinnati and the place where every day starts. We break down the biggest moments and set the agenda for the city. Marissa Contepelli and Jacob Tissett join me to bring the insight and energy you need to start your day. The conversation starts with First Word. First Word, weekdays 7 to 11, part of the Crown Network.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah!
Hell yeah. All right. I'm doing it. How do you think I'm doing so far?
You're doing really good. Really good. You already got your shifting points down and stuff. You're able to shift, start it, brake, all that. You're standing up over the bumps, which is what we want to do, and you've already got your crashes out of the way, and you're tough, so you're going great.
I must say, I'm like on a 110, which is like what little kids ride, and I'm like in gear 1, okay? And even in gear 1, I'm like, okay, you can do this, And now I'm on gear 2,
yeah.
So excited. One day I'll get to gear 3. But the main goal, I don't know, I really want to do a jump and like get some air and land it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're going to do now on this one.
Yeah.
I think I can do it. If anything, I think I'm going to send it regardless.
You're going to send it regardless?
I'm feeling confident right now. See what
Alrighty. You want to be prepared for the landing is the biggest thing. Like, you don't want to hit and like lose your arms off the bars and just like crash. So
I'm just gonna cruise. Cruising! Woo!
I think with just a little bit more speed you can maybe get some air.
You got it. Bad, babe. Okay. Hey! Woo!
That was sick.
That was cool.
What do you think?
That was so much fun.
So much fun?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Thank you so much, Scott, and everyone at East Fork MX. East Fork MX, I've had a blast. My adrenaline is high. I understand why everybody does it, no matter what age. I mean, just start it. Brett, thank you so much. From our very own pro. Actually, how many pro bikers, pro motocross racers are there in the Cincinnati area?
Not so many. I think we have a couple, in Ohio. I think there's, maybe 4 or 5 total in Ohio.
Wow, and you're one of them.
Yeah.
Good royalty today. Thank you so much, dude.
Of course, it was fun, and thank you for having me. I had a blast, and I always love, sharing my passion with other people. So
yeah, man, it's pretty rad.
Welcome back to the Working Lunch. Boy, I'm a big Findlay Market fan. Big thanks to Kelly Lancer for coming on the show. We are wrapping things up here. First off, I wanted to put up a picture that I had the pleasure of taking last night. I don't know if you guys realize what a pretty city we have, what a cool, good-looking city we have. It was a gorgeous sunset last night. That was just a fantastic picture of the skyline that it would have been crazy to not have taken a picture of last night. That's taken from Newport, obviously. I was at Newport on the Levee. I went and saw Disclosure Day at the AMC Theater there in Newport. I saw it. That's a fun thing to keep in mind going forward, but people should see movies and judge them on their own. And I had that beautiful view waiting for me when I came walking out of Newport on the Levee. Hey, guess what? It is Wednesday, and this coming weekend, there's a lot of stuff going on. Of course, it's Father's Day weekend in America, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's this weekend. Shout out to dads. Also, Covington Taco and Margarita Fest is going on. That is happening June 19th, 20th, and 21st. It's going to be at Goebel Park. That's right there in Main Strasse Village on Philadelphia Street. Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. You've got a ton of live music, and of course, there's a ton of food. I was looking through the different vendors that are at this. El Vaquero has quesabirria taco, which sounds great. I'm just going to name some foods, and we are at the working lunch here, so this is going to either decide what you have for dinner or make you regret the ham sandwich that you packed up early this morning. Birria nachos. El Cardinal Taqueria has loaded nachos, which, if we're being honest with ourselves, the words loaded nachos, I mean, there's very few other pairs of words that sound as good as loaded nachos. Like dollar beers would be one, and like home early are, pairs of words that sound as good as loaded nachos. There's also a dumpling place. Fortune Dumpling has a number of Asian-inspired tacos that are going to be going on. Tempura shrimp, chicken teriyaki, California crab, spicy tuna. Those are all tacos. Anyway, that's the Covington Taco and Margarita Fest going on in Main Strasse Village this coming weekend starting Friday night. That's our show. Big thanks to Kelly Lancer for coming on. Go to Findlay Market. Get yourself some groceries. Get yourself a cup of coffee. And tune into the Working Lunch again tomorrow at noon right here on The Crown. Glad to have you.